All right, guys, we're going to try this one. We'll see what happens. Let me send you some links. Let's see if this works. Somehow, I don't think it will, but who knows? I'm going to open in a tab. I'm going to try to post it back in the old one. Somehow, I don't think it will, but who knows? There's a link in the old room. I'm going to try to post it back in the old one. Still a little delayed, but not too bad. So we'll see if you guys can come over to it. Not sure if you can. Say something in the chat room. Can't see it. Anyway. I'll keep the other one up for a few more moments. Hey, first, let's try this again. How is that? I mean, I don't know how far behind you are from the sound. Anyway. I'll keep the other one up for a few more moments. Hey, first. All right, so it sounds like it's working a little bit. Yay, audio. All right, I'm gonna kill this other one. All right. So, how's everybody doing today? Let's try this again, right? No video. Yep, we're not going with video, Han, because video is just causing way too many issues. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. I know we're at least probably 20 or 30 seconds behind, so I'll kind of try to keep that in mind as I'm talking. Sorry, we're a little late getting started now. Audio time 1:16. I don't know what that means, Crafty, but it sounds interesting. Yeah, so where were we? All right, so yeah, you guys might have seen I was on Rakin's show this morning. He reached out to me sort of impromptu, and you know, it was great. He said, "Hey, do you want to come on the show and just talk and about women's clothes and so on and brands and you know?" And we talked about selling clothing. It was awesome. We had about 100 people on. It was all audio because in screen share with he was looking up sold listings and we're talking about some brands. And you know, if you haven't gotten a chance, check out that video over on Steve's channel. We did this morning. It was really good. It turned out better than I thought, considering I wasn't totally awake yet. And I don't know if he was awake. I think he'd already had a workout, so he was good. But anyway, it was a good show. He wants to do more of those. Not all necessarily with me, but just in general. And I think it's a good format. Just go in, kind of look at listings, teach from what's actually up on eBay instead of, you know, just saying things you can actually show people. So anyway, it was a great show, and I think we talked for about an hour maybe, and lots of great content came out of it. Steve's always good, and he's been doing this a long time, so I was glad to be part of it. All right, so it is the 27th, guys. We got 5 or 6 days left in the month. What do we got? 28, 29, 30, 31. Yeah, we got 5 days counting today. So your month is almost over. You've got, you know, about 1/6 of it left. And so you've just got a few more days to get your sales in for October. Who's running a sale this weekend? Who's running a sale? Are you going to run a sale? Are you going to try to do something to pop those sales right at the end of the month? I'm thinking about doing it. I normally do about a 10% off sale. I don't know. That seems like a good amount, right? 10%. But I'll probably run a 10% off sale for maybe Friday through Sunday night. Just try to get a few more sales there in the end. But the title of this audio, guys, is $7,000 a month on eBay selling clothing. And the reason I titled that is because that's what I just hit. I'm not sure if I could try a screen share. I don't know how great it's going to be. And we'll see if I can show you kind of what my sales have been the last couple of days and so on. So I'm going to try to do that. Hopefully I don't crash the whole internet again, but if I do, I do. Anyway, and I'll show you how I've been doing. So people are talking about the sales, though. A lot of people in the chat room. I'm going to do some shout outs here in a minute, but let me try to get that up and running. You know what? Actually, let's do the shout outs and then I'll do it because it might crash it. All right, so a lot of people are here today, and we'll get into more of the subject matter. Henry, Crafty, Hans here, Midwest, Jay Solorio, Shanina, I'm not sure I'm saying that right, Shanina, Midwest, MSC, Michelle, Beasley, Susanna, Marcos, Minnesota, Vegan Girl, Crafty, Tacey's, Diana, King Flip, Denver Way, Swamp is here, Mrs. ABB, Glenda Brown, Hunlum, all in the house, all in the house. I'm probably missed somebody. Doc, the Doodle Doo, which is kind of a funny name. I like that. Lots of people here, guys. I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. It's on a Thursday afternoon. Yvonne's here, Twisted Picker, the best coast ever. Hit the like button if you wouldn't mind. Smash it, as Mr. Rakin likes to say, and lets me know I'm doing a good job. I do appreciate it. Lets YouTube know as well. So, yeah, so a sale, yeah, Crafty said I said name twice, funny. So a sale is, you know, in the offerings for this weekend. I think if you guys haven't hit your totals, maybe you hit a sale, right? I don't know why you wouldn't at this point. Try to, you know, generate a few more dollars coming in. I mean, 10% off is not going to kill your margins unless you're already really kind of low anyway. But just, you know, good idea to kind of pop a few more sales there right at the end, a few more bucks going into next month. And, you know, you can see if you can start off next month with a little extra sourcing capital. But yeah, so $7,000, guys. So I'm going to try to share this screenshot, and we'll see. Man, you know, if this kills it, it kills it, and I apologize, but you know, it's one of the trademarks of my channel. I share results, and I can't do that very well if stupid internet's not working. But all right, so I'm going to do a screen share. Let's go see what we got here. Okay, so here we go. All right, guys, so the last few days have been great. Yesterday was an awesome day. 17 pair of jeans sold. Hopefully you guys can see this. Let's see how far behind it is. If it comes up, I'm trying to do the, oh, it is coming up. Hey, look at that. There it is. So 17 pair of jeans sold yesterday, $410. That was my best day. I think I said 420 this morning. It was actually 410. I was a little off. And great day there, $174 net. Let me move this over. I got a lot of listings up 24. I finished off the rest of the photos from that Karin had for me, but now I am jeanless, so I'm gonna have to take some more photos. I was looking up here at the top, guys, for the month. I have been averaging 10.4 listings per day and selling 6.8. So I am increasing, but I've got to get a lot more listings up to really blow this up. And, you know, I mean, I'm gaining like about 3.5 per day. I'm gaining about 3.5 listings per day, but over the course of this challenge. But hey, first 100 days are in the books, guys. So I want to talk about some of the things I've learned, but let me finish with the results. And let me go to, let's see, let me click the, man, I can't see this the way this is. Let me shrink this down just a little bit. All right. And let's go to jeans by month. All right, guys, so here's October. You can see I've averaged 837 listings, 359 photos, 419 listed. That's a record. 9.5 jeans per day so far, and that's only going to keep going up as we get through the end of this month. $7,100 gross I've had for the month in just jeans. I think that's a pretty strong month. I don't know what you guys think, but I think that's pretty strong to just be selling jeans and doing that kind of volume. I've sold 293 pair, actually. Netted on that about $2,800, which is pretty good. You know, I mean, it's certainly not going to retire money, but I'm kind of in a position where I have minimal expenses right now overall compared to other points in my life. So that's a good, you know, it's not bad for what we're doing. $981 per jean, which I'm actually kind of proud of. I think I told you guys I really wanted to hit $10. You know, it's close. It's a little below it, but it's pretty close. And oh, there was something I was going to show on the other page. I'm sorry. Let me go back to that. Oops, that's wrong. It is where is it? Yeah, so percent sold, guys, the sell through is right at 1%. You know, I told you guys when we started this, that's what I wanted to be at, and where I thought I could be at, and so far it's coming true. So every day I'm selling 1% of my inventory, which was my goal, and I'm pretty happy about that. Here is the graphs, if I can get them to come up. You can see here the gross per day is about $280 a day, gross. The solds is still climbing steadily, as you can see. You know, really, really nice line there. Listed is pretty good too. Need to get more on this though. Obviously, always more. Listings has been steadily climbing. And there's that sell-through percentage, which right here, you can see it's trending right around about a 1.25, 1.3, somewhere in there, which is really good. So I'm happy with those results. I'm going to stop sharing. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I don't know what you guys think, and I appreciate the congrats I see in the chat room. Thank you guys for that. It's been a long, hard road. It's been a lot of hard work and still a lot more to do. But, you know, I feel like there's lots of clothing resellers out there. And I think once you reach a certain level, and I don't know what that level is for everybody, you can reflect and be happy with your accomplishment. And I'm pretty happy with the accomplishment this month. And it's not done. I might hit 8,000 this month. I think there's a real chance of that. And I'm really happy with it, with the results, you know, and I don't usually say that too much because I'm the kind of person, I'm not negative, but I'm always looking for ways to improve. But I'm gonna say that, you know, if this month ends up being an $8,000 month, I'm pretty happy with that. The interesting thing is today, guys, I figured out, I was doing a little bit of figuring when I was on Steve's show earlier, maybe right before it. If we were at 5,000 listings and we were at this kind of sell through, we're talking about a $500,000 a year business. I mean, that's crazy. And that's gross, but still a $500,000 a year business just selling jeans mainly on eBay. And yeah, we'd have to hire a couple people. We'd have to get more sourcing in, more supply. But, you know, these numbers project out to a pretty strong, you know, a nice little business, a nice little living, actually. You know, I mean, we could pay people and still pay ourselves a nice salary and be very comfortable. So I guess the point is that you can make this whatever you want to make it. You know, the barriers you have to whatever your results are you think you should be getting, they're artificial. They're in your own mind. You can overcome them. You can overcome them with something simple like one niche, like in jeans, for instance, or you can, you know, have a wider range of clothing and product. I just think that there's just the sky's the limit. I mean, how big do you want to be? What do you want to accomplish with your business? And I don't know, you guys have all different levels, but there's just really no limit to it other than the ones we put on it. And I just think that, and I'm not holding my results up to say they're like, you know, I'm setting the world on fire, but man, I'm doing this with just jeans. I mean, I don't really have any excuse anymore, you know, not that I really was using an excuse anyway, but I mean, I can do it with one product. And is every month going to be as good as this month? No, it won't be. Of course it won't, but some may be better, but who knows? But it doesn't matter. I'm not even close to the amount of listings I have. Think about that. Like if I was at even twice the listing, my results would be twice what they are. You know, now you're talking a $5,000 net month. You know, or about 5,600 actually, just with twice the listings. And that would be, you know, 1,800 pair of jeans, something like that. And that's doable for the two of us just from our house for sure. We know we can do that. We have the space. We could handle the workload, you know, and providing an income that, you know, supports a family. You know, where we live is not super expensive, but it's not super cheap either. This part of Charlotte is kind of expensive, but Charlotte as a rule is, it's I think above the national average, but it's not like San Francisco or New York or Boston or somewhere like that. So you can do it to whatever level you want. I mean, you can do it with easy things. I mean, if you can go buy items for $5, $6, I mean, what's really holding you back? I mean, you say, hey, Prof, I've only got $100 that I can put into this. All right, well, go buy 20 items. Put them up. You're going to sell a third of them this month, and you're going to sell a third of them the next month, and then you're going to reinvest that. And then all of a sudden, instead of 20 items up, you're going to have 30, and then you're going to have 40, and then you're going to have 100. I mean, it's not that hard, guys. I mean, I wish I could say to you like, oh, to do $500,000 a year on eBay in a clothing business is just, there's huge challenges. I just don't think there will be. I mean, I can see the challenges in front of me, but even to do less than that, even to do 250,000, I think two people can definitely handle it. One probably could do it if you want to work really hard. I'm not sure I want to work quite that hard. But I know two people can do it, but it's not as hard as everybody seems to make it out to be. I mean, the obstacles are largely created in our own minds. And I'd always suspected that, but you kind of have to get out there and start proving it. And not that I feel like 1 month really, means that I've arrived or anything like that. I'm not suggesting that. I'm just saying that I just see that it's not that much more difficult to go from 5,000 to 8,000, from 8,000 to 12,000, from 12,000 to 15. I mean, I think it's just arbitrary numbers in our head. We say, oh, that's really hard. It's not. It's not. Now, if you want to say, hey, I want to do $50,000 a month. Okay, well, that's a pretty large scale operation, right? And it's going to take a while to get to, just like I'm saying, getting to $500,000 would be, I'd have to change some things, but it's doable, and you don't need to have a warehouse, with 5,000 square feet and 10 employees and loading docks and forklifts. I mean, you can go that way, but you don't have to go that way. So anyway, that's my diatribe for the day. Sorry about that, or maybe I'm not sorry. A couple questions in here. Diana says, do you sell the same amount of jeans from the summer month? You don't, Diana. It definitely dies down, but you sell a higher percentage certain other months of the year. Like right now is a great month for jeans. It looks like the seasonality curve on eBay shows it's good. And then there might be a little dip in November and then a little bump back up in December and kind of stays the same for 2 or 3 months. And then it climbs again in the spring and then drops off to the summer. So you got to adjust your numbers a little bit for that. Obviously, when is your slowest time? The summer for sure, Mrs. ABB. June and July are definitely slow for jeans, for sure. Let's see what else is here. People are having some vacation conversations. King Flip says, people think it's hard because they waste their time on YouTube instead of working. Well, there you go, King Flip, as we're all talking about that on a YouTube channel. Prof, are you familiar with the Watch Count website where there are tons of research tools and they're including top word key searches? Yeah, but you know what, Krillin? You don't even have to use that. You just can do the research right on eBay, guy. I mean, this is not rocket science. It's not that hard to go onto eBay. Here's where people get tripped up. Here's where they get tripped up, I think, or a lot of people, not everybody, but some people. They go on eBay and they see, all right, I think I want to sell, because I mentioned this earlier in Reiki show, I want to sell Nike t-shirts. So they go on and they say, oh man, there's 5,000 listings of Nike t-shirts. The market is flooded. It's too saturated. Okay, if there's 5,000 listings of Nike t-shirts, guess what? There's a market for Nike t-shirts. Now you got to figure out how big that market is and how much of it you can grab. and you don't have to grab a lot of it. That's the great thing I love about jeans. Jeans, there's a couple million listings on there. I don't have to grab 10% of the market to sell a lot of jeans. I don't have to grab 1%. So you don't, and the bigger thing is this too, guys, we forget this. Like, I don't know where you guys live, but if you live in a bigger city, there are tons of car dealers, right? Auto dealers, people who sell cars. There's big dealerships, there's little dealerships, there's kind of people in the middle, there's mom and pops, there's the officially licensed ones, all that good stuff. But the problem is that, a lot of those dealerships are going to fail, right? Some of them are going to do poorly because, they don't have as good a product. Some of them because they don't advertise correctly. Some because they screw people over and they get a bad reputation. Others are undercapitalized. There's all kinds of reasons. You don't have to, but you wouldn't say, hey, there's no more market for car dealerships. There's always a market for a good car dealership. Somebody who knows what they're doing, who, they have a plan for their business, they adjust, they course correct as things come up. And I think it's the same way with eBay. There's always room for good sellers or even great sellers. Whatever you get into, guys, I want to be the best denim seller on eBay. Not necessarily the biggest. That's not best to me. But at what I do, at every process I have and the pictures I take and the listings I put up and the way I sell and the way I deal with customers, I want to be the best at it. The best. Because if you're the best, people will buy from you. It doesn't matter about the market size. That's the genius of it. You got to be the best, and when you're the best, whatever that looks like, the market will respond to you. You will capture a percentage of it. Now, you never quit striving to be better. And, the best is sort of an arbitrary term to a lot of people, but that's what you should do. Don't strive to just say, and I know there's a lot of you guys are already sellers, but man, if I could say one thing to people who are thinking about getting started reselling, don't make it your goal to go buy a bunch of stuff and throw it up on eBay. Make it your goal to be a great seller on eBay. And that might mean you only throw up one item this week because that's all you could get done and accomplish, and you're still figuring out photos and lighting, and you're still figuring out how to list things and so on. And then as you sell, you're going to get experience. You're going to get feedback from buyers. You're going to get, sometimes eBay is going to give you feedback if you're not doing the right thing. Or if you are doing the right thing, they're going to give you feedback. They're going to give you more listings. And that to me is like how you become, that's your goal. You want to become the best seller you can be at whatever it is, and that doesn't necessarily mean the biggest, like I said. So I know I can be a good, if not great, denim reseller on eBay. And a side benefit of that is that I will make a good income and can earn for enough of a good living for my family. That's the side benefit. That's not the goal, though. If I become a really good reseller on there, those things will come. The money will come. Money will follow your success. It will follow your efforts. It will follow your application of all these principles. Money is like a side benefit to it. I mean, yeah, I know we're like, oh, we do it for money. It's like, nah, you really don't do it for money. You do it because it fulfills you. It fulfills a need in you to be an entrepreneur, to be a seller, to be in business for yourself, whatever that is. That's really where the success comes from, in my opinion. It's not the pursuit of the money. The money is a nice side benefit. So anyway, let's see what else is out there. I'm trying to get through some of the questions, guys. I do apologize because it's tough. King says, people think it's hard because they waste their time on YouTube. Yeah, we already talked about it, King. Whatever. Sorry, I went back to that one. Let's see. Have you thought about eventually expanding to other products, maybe sometime next year? Yes, Will, I have. And I've talked about that a few times. But I'm not going to get too much in that right now. But yes, I absolutely have done that. New jean label, I learned 1 teaspoon. Yvonne, I have not seen that one. And apparently I'm working on a super secret product, according to King. Which I am. My highest was a pair of Nubitags Luckies, and they were bid up to $130. Nice. That's great. Lucky's an awesome pair of jeans. I don't care what anybody says. I love Lucky brand jeans. They're great. Nike is one of the highest keyword searches. Yep, I believe it, right? It's an iconic brand. Just do it, right? Let's see what else we got here. Just got here. Oh, wait. It's weird how the chat will go back down. Let's see. Yes, fun stuff. The podcast. It's a podcast. Should just start doing the podcast every day, right? The only thing is it's a third-party platform. We don't control it. Makes it a bit more complicated. King says, yeah, and I get that, King, but you know, there's always going to be things like that out of your control in your business. I mean, even if you sell only on your website, it can go down. You know, you could get pushed down in the Google search rankings for some reason. I mean, all kinds of things. And there's always gonna be things like that. And that's why you should diversify your revenue streams. That's a conversation for a whole nother day, which we probably should have on this channel. Because honestly, that's critically important, I think, to your financial future. What's the average time an item sits before it sells? Stephanie asked. Stephanie, I talked about this on Reagan's show today. And I'm not tracking the average time that jeans sit now. I did used to do that. It's a little bit of a complex formula, actually, believe it or not, to come up with, or at least I found it was. But what I found was that men's and women's jeans on average were selling within 28 days. So it wasn't a long period of time. And there are some outliers that, you know, would set for a long time, which will blow that average up a little bit. But even there, the median was in the 20s, so about 3 to 4 weeks, which I don't think is too bad for a commodity item like jeans. Do you buy certain sizes, stay away from certain sizes? Yeah, bigger sizes are great, Susanna, because a lot of people look for them and there just aren't a lot of them out there. And stores don't get big size. When they get size runs, they don't get the big sizes as much. But I try to stay away from the really small sizes in women's, like 0 and 00, unless there's something like a skinny or a long. Then I will still get them. Or they've got something extraordinary about them, like a crazy design, but that's not very common. Minnesota, I love your business outlook. Thank you for that, Minnesota. I appreciate that. Yvonne you had an experience with BHFO or BMFO. I think it's BHFO, right? That's the biggest seller on eBay. And had to return for item not as described. Nice. It's hard to stay motivated to keep listing. Glenda says, yeah, well, Glenda, listing is what you do when you've got stuff to list. I mean, it's really just that simple. Get it listed. Set yourself a goal. I don't care if it's just one item a day. Get it up. Get an item up. It keeps you going. It keeps things in the pipeline. It keeps your mental processes right. When you're listing, think of it this way, Glenda. This is the way you should think about it. When you are listing items on your e-commerce store, you are building your business. I know it probably doesn't seem like that. It's like, I'm just listing something. What do you mean, Prop? You are building your business. That is no different than if you owned a brick and mortar store and you were putting items out on a rack out on the sales floor. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. When you're listing, you are building your business. That is exactly what you're doing. So it is critically important to have a regular listing schedule, whatever that looks like for you. I recommend at least one item a day. But whatever it looks like for you, list and just remember that it's building your business. Lewis wants a spreadsheet. Working on it, Lewis. I promise, I promise, I promise. Let's see what else is here. Minnesota blocks out time to list. Yep, that's the way to do it. Block out time and say, all right, for 30 minutes or an hour or whatever, I'm going to list today, and it's going to be these items. When you say big, do you mean plus, Susanna? Yes, plus sizes are great. And bigger men's sizes too. You know, like 42 and up. You know, even 40 in a lot of sizes. Certain brands. For women's, it's like 18 and up. I would say, and of course, any plus sizes for the most part. Stephanie says, 28 days makes me feel a lot better. I'm so impatient. Sometimes I think if it doesn't sell within the week, something is wrong. Yeah, Stephanie, I can tell you, and being in retail for many years in management, we would get new items into the store, and within about, probably 4 weeks, they would hit the first markdown. And then a week or two after that, they hit another markdown. A week or two after they hit another markdown. And there'd be times, sometimes we'd have items that would literally sit there for 3 or 4 or 5 months and just not sell, even though they were marked down from like $50 down to like $6.99 or something like that. And there's just all kinds of reasons for that. You just haven't had the right buyer walk in the door. It wasn't a great selling item to start with, but don't second guess yourself too much on that. And you gotta let, it's like fishing. You gotta throw the bait in the water and leave it there for a little bit. You can't just expect that a fish is gonna grab it right away. And it's the same thing with selling. You've gotta have a little bit of patience in this business and realize that sometimes it just takes one buyer, especially if it's something kind of unusual or different. I was trying to think, there was something I just sold like that. I can't think of it. I'll think of it here in a minute. But it was a pair of jeans that, were an unusual brand, and they just sold today. Maybe I can find it if I look on my spreadsheet for what I sold today, or maybe it was yesterday. I did sell I sold some LRGs. And no, it wasn't. Yeah, LRGs. So Lifted Research Group is a niche brand. Just sold those. They actually sold yesterday. And they sat for a while. I probably had that brand listed for, looking at the sales number, probably over 6 months. But they sold, and they sold for good money. So, whatever. Let's see. Lipo doesn't work if you sell on eBay. I guess you're talking about last in, first out. You got to list faster. When you get down to 10 an hour, what did King say? I'm sorry, I missed. It completely changed the game. Yeah, if you can get it for 10 an hour, that's awesome, because in a couple hours, you can knock out 20 listings. And if you got a 200 item store, you just increase the size of your store by 10%. So yeah, 20, if you can do 20 in a day, and that only takes you a couple hours, you can really make up some ground on your totals. Let's see. Yeah, and Mrs. ABB says 10 an hour. Wow. Well, here's the thing. If you get your processes down, you can do that. You can batch tasks together. You get very quick at I recommend people use the mobile apps for listing. I think it's faster than the PC or laptop, but King Flip wants to do 50 a day, but he can't source enough inventory. Yeah, that's a lot. Let's see what else we got here. What other questions do we have here? Sometimes things don't sell. Crafty says, sometimes things don't sell. Revamp title, pics, and description also helps. Yes, I agree with that, Crafty. You've got to go in and evaluate your listings from time to time. Sometimes you can end them and restart them if they're good or canceled. Sometimes some people think that helps, pushes them back up in the search. Who knows? But yeah, I agree with that. Let's see. RS9 says, I'm surrounded by inventory in my home office, as well as a 10 by 30 unit, working a full-time job, 50 plus hours a week. It's hard to list, but fun to go source. Surely need to shift focus. Yes, Prioris, you have a disease. I'm just teasing. You don't have a disease, but you have a problem that a lot of resellers do, and it's that they love the thrill of the hunt. They love the thrill of finding something that's cool and for a good deal. But I'm gonna let you know a little secret. An item is only a good deal if you can sell it. It's not a good deal just because you can buy it. Yeah, you may have bought it for a good price, but that good price is based on the sales value of it. You don't get the sales value of it until you sell it. And guess what? You're not gonna sell it until you list it. So start thinking about, maybe setting some short-term goals of, I'm going to keep track of everything I buy this week and everything I list. And I'm going to list twice as many things as I buy this week. Just do it 2x. 2x. And if you don't get to that total by the end of the week, Prioris, carry it over to the next week. So if you bought 20 items this week, then you need to list 40, right? So if you only list 30 this week, wait until you list the next 10 next week before you buy anything else. Just keep totals of it. It can be informal. Write it down on a sheet of paper. It's nothing, doesn't need a spreadsheet. But that can help. That gets you listing twice as much as you're buying, which will start making a difference. And you're going to see the stuff start selling. Let's see. Just started selling on eBay. Any advice? Well, Beauty, that's kind of a broad question. So if you can narrow down maybe what you're selling, what your goals are, what you're looking to do with your eBay selling, that would be great. Maybe we can give you a little better advice. Oh yeah, the online label record. Yeah, you don't have to print that, Lori. That's in the settings for your label preferences. It's in there. Yeah, because I only print the half page label on mine, so I can get 2 labels per page. I like the half page. I think it looks like a legit label instead of the really tiny one like from a Diamo printer. Let's see. Man, we had like 60 people watching. Thank you for that, guys. Or listening, I guess, as the case may be, right? Excuse me. Pictures are everything, Minnesota said. Vegan Girl. Yeah, that is true with clothing, especially. Pictures are everything. Because people can't try it on, guys. If they can't try it on, all they can do is sell it. I've even thought about I wonder, this would be a fun experiment. Just list a bunch of items with pictures and don't even put a title on them and see if they sell. Put your titles like one letter, like the letter A or something. It'd be interesting to see if they'd still sell. They might, but pictures for clothing are really important. For other items, they're not as important. You know, if you've got a new in the box iPhone, I mean, pictures aren't really that important. It's a new people know what an iPhone looks like, you know, so unless it's got scratches or something you need to disclose to somebody, you probably don't really need to care about the picture. But with clothing, it's important, no doubt. So King says they're overrated, which I would agree for some categories, King, but not for clothing. They're not overrated for clothing. That's why you're the professor. Thanks, Prioris. I just saw that. Death piles are no more than clutter until they're listed and become inventory. Yes, Susanna, very true. Nietzsche. I didn't say Nietzsche, did I? Yeah, I had Friedrich Nietzsche. I know who that is. Did I say Nietzsche? Oh, I said, yeah, I thought I said that. I don't think I said Nietzsche. If I did, that was my mistake. Let's see. Just get rid of the bottom label. Yeah, just check your label settings there. Craft or whoever that was asking about the label earlier. It's in there. Too busy hustling. Smash it, people. Smash the like button. I know, I love it, right? Or just put jeans, pants, or shirt. Yeah, I've thought about that. I mean, it'd be a fun thing to try. I don't know. They might sell. But I don't know. You know, the problem is people get it and then they didn't read the item specifics or something. And they're like, I thought this was a size 32. And because you didn't have it in the title, they're just buying it off the picture. And it doesn't matter. Yeah, it's be their fault. But is it important to focus on just clothes or should I try to sell other items? Beauty, you really can do whatever you like there. There's kind of the wide approach where maybe you go wide but not that deep. So you sell a little bit of everything. And then you can narrow it down to a specific category or two. There's not a right or wrong answer there. It kind of depends on what your local sources of supply are and how your mind works and what maybe even what your strengths are. Maybe you have strengths selling some of those items in a previous career or what have you. And, you know, that's cool too. So I'm not going to say there's a right or wrong answer. I would tell people to focus on a category first until you get better at selling, but you don't have to. That's for sure. Just my own personal preference, I think. We're still having an argument about niche or niche. This is amazing. This chat room is amazing. You guys learn how to say words in this chat room. Who else's chat room gives you this kind of content? You learn how to say words. Fun stuff's on a shopping ban till I list these 2 boxes of clothing. Got to be done. Yeah. You know, you're right, Fun. It's just got to be done. You know, there's just reached the point where you're going to say, I got to do it. King likes the repairs and parting model. Yeah. I mean, if that's your thing, you know, and you can, and it fits in with kind of your mindset and maybe where you can get stuff. Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds like it would. I mean, I always thought it would be cool too. I just never have taken the time to learn about it. I should. I had someone, Stephanie says, I had someone request a return because in the item specifics it said long sleeve, but everywhere else short sleeve. Lesson learned. Yeah. You know, Stephanie, and that's an interesting point. And the point is this, guys. If you put something incorrect in the listing and someone wants to return it for, you know, whatever reason, that's what they're going to key in on. And maybe it was their mistake. Maybe they ordered it without reading it closely. But, you know, be careful when you're going through and putting in item specifics and things like that. I mean, people can get confused on the front end, or they can use it against you on the back end. And you just don't want to give them any ammunition. And plus, you just want to accurately describe it. So, I mean, I guess the moral of the story is, you know, just be aware of what you're putting in your listing. And, you know, it's funny how many times people ask me for a measurement that's in the item specifics. It happens almost every day. Someone asks me for a measurement that's in my item specifics, but they don't read it. They don't look at it. And it just is what it is, you know. And a lot of times, because I have it in there already, I don't have to go grab the item. I can just tell them, oh, the inseam is 32. Here you go. Whew. But, you know, be cautious with your item specifics and how you put things in your listings. I mean, that's key to, especially with clothing, because people, again, they cannot try it on, guys. So they're totally depending on the pictures, your description, and the item specifics. So Glenda says buyers don't read. And you're right, they don't. And I would dare say most of us have had times we bought things and didn't read the fine print or read it as well. None of us are perfect. We all make mistakes, or we get in a hurry, or, you know, we think it's this or and it's really that. So anyway, Susanna takes some time with item specifics because the search picks them up. Yeah, that's true, that it does. And that can help push you up in the rankings a little bit. You know, if you have the item specifics in there, obviously. Let's see, take your time listing, less errors. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a trade-off, Mrs. ABB, between time spent on listing versus, you know, getting more listings up versus being accurate. Obviously, the faster you go, the more mistakes you're likely to make. That's just common sense. King Flip doesn't answer questions. So if you buy anything from King Flip and you got a question, you ain't answering it. Let's see. All right, now people are speaking some other language. French, maybe? I don't even know. You guys are killing me. I don't even know what you're talking about. Fortunately, I haven't gotten any more feedback that was in another language today, like it was yesterday. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. I know some of you were in the room, but I got feedback, a neutral, in a different language. So I had no idea what it said for a while. I had to put it in the translator, and it basically said it had some flaws on the knees that I hadn't taken a picture of, and I didn't, so I couldn't even argue it. But I don't know. I mean, they're not going to send them back. Scott says on Craigslist, most of the questions are, "Do you still have it?" Craigslist. Craigslist is its own animal all to itself. We could do a whole show about Craigslist. And it would be entertaining, because, man, Craigslist is, But does long sleeve or short sleeve come up when someone types long sleeve or short sleeve in search, like VTG and vintage? I meant to ask. Reposting. That's a good question, Fun, and I don't know the answer to that. I think it's possible if they type that into the search window that it's going to pull ones that have that. I mean, that's kind of how search algorithms work, right? But I don't know if it's got that particular abbreviation for it, because those can mean other things on other types of items, right? So don't know. If anyone knows the answer to that definitively, but Russian feedback for Krillin. Nice. Did you figure it out, Krillin, what it meant? Oh, you got to go translate. All right. Just wondering so I can stop wasting title space. I almost might type that out, Fun Stuff, and here's why. I don't know that everyone's going to know what those mean. I mean, I know what they mean, you know what they mean, but there's lots of other people out there who would be like, what does that mean? LS, SS, I don't know. So who knows? Krillin, you're missing a huge opportunity on Craigslist for sourcing. I get calls every day from people wanting to give me merch. I'm not missing an opportunity, Krillin. It's just not what my business model is. I mean, if some guy on Craigslist has 500 pair of jeans he wants to sell for 50 cents a piece, I'm going to go buy them. But, short of like some crazy deal like that, I just don't want to go get a bunch of one-offs. That's the problem. But I could do a better job at probably putting in search terms and so on. It means great seller. I think eBay buyers ask questions to waste time. That's why I started telling them no. I don't know, King. I've had lots of people ask questions for me. Like I had a guy yesterday ask if I could combine shipping, which is a little tricky for me because I have it as fixed flat rate shipping, And I said, sure, the worst it'll be is $13 because he wanted 2 pair of jeans. Well, he bought them, and I ended up giving him like a $3 refund because it ended up being less than, it wasn't $13, so whatever. But he bought them, it happens, but I don't know. NWT buyer, what is NWT? New with tags? Yeah, and people put that all the time, and it's like, what does that mean? And I know what it means, but I think this is one of the things where like, a lot of buyer or sellers on eBay, we use all these acronyms and we know what they mean, but I'm not sure buyers always do. I don't know. I think you have to be real careful about using acronyms or abbreviations because not everybody's going to know what they mean. If I just put Ann Taylor and select specific long sleeve, I get over 8,000. Wow. Yeah, I mean, Fun. This sounds like trite advice, but look at what some of the successful sellers are doing and how they're listing, and maybe copy their format for your items for, whether it's Ann Taylor or whatever it is. Yeah, and Crafty says that's because anything with sleeve will show up and anything with short. Yeah, that's the problem. Like when you search a certain way like that, it's going to pull up anything that's got those search terms in it. And you don't want that. But then again, maybe you do. Like, think about it this way. Say somebody's searching for a long sleeve, but you've got short sleeve in your title and they see yours because it has the word sleeve. And they said, maybe short sleeve would be all right. And they buy it. I don't know. How about EUC, NWT, NIB? Don't even get me started on those, Crafty. We know what they are, but man, there's lots of buyers who don't. They don't have any idea what those mean. And EUC is just kind of vague anyway, in my opinion, but that's all right. Excellent use condition. Yeah, that's what it is. And there's GUC, and is there PUC, poor use condition? Pup. I have to be careful what I'm saying there. I have a problem, Michelle says, with accepting best offer and the buyer taking forever to pay. Does anyone else experience this? Michelle, you can set your account up to do an automatic item not as or automatic invoicing and item not as described after a certain time frame if you want. You can set your account to do that your eBay account up to do that automatically, so that if they don't pay you, Michelle, within say 2 days, which I think is what mine is set, it automatically opens up a case. Because I don't go chasing people. I usually will message them after the first day, and usually most people pay. But if I'm gonna, I don't do best offers. So if someone makes me an offer and I accept it and they haven't paid, I'm like, I'm gonna open up a case pretty quickly because I want to resell that item. Stephanie says, I didn't know EUC and Googled it. Yeah, I mean, and Crafty makes a good point. I don't use acronyms. I just put new in the title and nothing if it is used. Yeah, and I think that's okay because people do search for new items sometimes. But here's the thing, Crafty, there. If you're putting new and used in your item specifics, it still should come up, theoretically, even if it's not in your title. And you could use your title for something more descriptive about the item, maybe. And maybe you don't need it. Like I find I don't always use every character. I don't stress over that. I don't use every character for jeans listings. So a lot of times, almost never actually, because there's just not that much more to say that I think is important. I mean, there's just only so much you can say about a pair of jeans and that many characters, but I don't know. You're welcome, Michelle. No problem. Is anyone having problems with shipping? I have poly bags. I think 9x13. I've put first class shipping label on. Is that okay? Well, it's by what? Does first class have a size restriction? I can't remember. It's definitely got a weight restriction, but I can't remember if first class has a dimensions restriction or not. I don't really ship first class hardly ever anymore for anything, so I just don't really remember. Mrs. ABB says it goes by weight, not the bag. Yeah, that's what I think too. So it's got to be within the weight constraints, Stephanie, but not so much the size of the bag. As long as it's under 16 ounces, someone just said, which is what I understand. Yeah, so the weekend's coming, guys. It's the last weekend of the month. It's sort of a holiday weekend, I suppose, in some ways, right? Halloween. And I don't know. I feel like it's probably a weekend when a lot of people will be shopping online. A lot of people will start their Christmas shopping after Halloween. So people are going to go get more stuff in the stores. So consider that for a sale or what you do with your stores this weekend, because I think it could be a big weekend for sales online. I could be mistaken, but Ronnie says I'm in the bathroom. No, Ronnie, my camera decided to throw up once again today, or rather YouTube did, or the connection, or Time Warner cable, or whoever it is that's causing it. It's a conspiracy, I tell you. And it's a conspiracy by other YouTubers who are trying to keep me down. No, I don't know. I had to just go to audio just to have a show at all. But how you doing, sir? Good to see you. I haven't talked to you in a while. Get ready to hear Thriller on a continuous loop. I don't even know where that's going. But that's I got you. Yeah, Halloween. Gotcha. I hope you were right. They better be shopping. It's dead this week. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just depends on what you're selling. I cannot complain this week, guys. I've had a pretty strong week. How's your week been, Ronnie? If you're still in here, you've been selling, my friend? Pumping some volume out. I've had, let me see what I've done this week. I'll see what the old eBayer says. So in the last, eBay gives you all these different ways to look at your sales. So in the last 7 days, I've done $1,776. Which is pretty good. What does that project out to about? That projects out to about 7,000 a month, right? So not too bad. Ronnie said he made a video twice yesterday and both were messed up. Same problem here, man. Steve and I did a show this morning, but it was only audio and he was doing a screen share the whole time. And I don't know, I guess it was all right, but it seems like YouTube's having some issues. Google needs to get their act together. Yeah, I'm trying to get to that $2,000 a week average, but I'm not quite there yet. I need a few more listings up, but yesterday was good. Today has been slower so far, but yesterday kind of picked up kind of late. So who knows? Anyway. All right, guys. Well, listen, now that Ronnie's here, I think that's going to do it. It's all your fault, Ronnie. No, but in all seriousness, I do have to get going as well. So I have some work I have to finish as well. But I hope you guys had enjoyed the show. Leave me a comment down below after the show post if you're watching this later. Sorry it was audio, but at least we got it done. Please hit the like button before you leave as well, guys. It lets me know I'm doing a good job. Lets YouTube know I'm doing a good job. Smash the like button, and I do appreciate it. And I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow or not. We'll see. These video problems are kind of annoying, but if not, maybe I'll try to catch up with you guys on the weekend for a quick insight and see how everybody's weekend's going. I hope your weekend goes awesome. Set some sales out there. Maybe put your store on sale if you got a store. Look at your pricing, and please, please, please list some items today. Do it today. Don't wait. There is no tomorrow. There's just today. Just today. All right, guys. Well, listen, that's going to do it for me. I hope you have an awesome rest of your Thursday and an awesome weekend if I don't talk to you. And I will talk to you all very, very soon, I'm sure. All right. Take care. And as always, this is Prof Sales saying good sales to you.